The Volcano of Deception, Dr. Rowley's latest eruption of untruths. An editorial by Professor Wall Street. My mother-in-law told me 37 years ago that a liar has no memory, and Dr. Keith Rowley continues to provide compelling evidence for this timeless wisdom. The former Prime Minister's latest pronouncement about returning to volcano research as his first love represents yet another chapter in his ongoing struggle with truthfulness, a pattern that has defined his political career and apparently continues into his supposed retirement. Just months ago, Dr. Rowley solemnly told the population of Trinidad and Tobago that he was moving away from politics to spend more time with his wife and children. Now, barely settled into civilian life, he's announcing his return to volcanology, conveniently omitting any mention of that promised family time. This latest pivot is not merely a change of plans, it's another demonstration of his habitual relationship with the truth. Here are 10 reasons why Dr. Rowley continues to embody a liar has no memory. 1. The disappearing family promise. Rowley's solemn pledge to spend more time with his wife and children has evaporated faster than volcanic steam. His announcement about diving straight back into volcano research makes no mention of the family commitments he claimed were driving his political retirement. Apparently, family time was just another convenient narrative. 2. The first love fiction. Describing volcano research as his first love conveniently rewrites his own history. If volcanology was truly his first love, why did he abandon it for nearly a decade in politics? This romantic reframing of his career trajectory suggests someone who reshapes the past to suit present narratives. 3. The email gate pattern. Just as Rowley denied and deflected during the email gate scandal, only for evidence to eventually surface, his current narrative about retirement motivations follows the same pattern of initial misrepresentation, followed by quiet revision when convenient. 4. The Petrotrin precedent. Rowley repeatedly assured the nation that Petrotrin would not be closed, right up until it was shuttered. His current pivot from family time to intellectual stimulation mirrors this same pattern of categorical denials, followed by complete policy reversals. 5. The missing $100 million memory. The promised $100 million allocation to certain communities that never materialized demonstrates Rowley's tendency to make grand pronouncements that are quietly forgotten. His retirement promises appear to be following the same trajectory into oblivion. 6. The convenient timing. Announcing his return to volcanology at a Men in Leadership forum suggests this wasn't a long-planned retirement strategy, but rather an opportunistic pivot when presented with a platform and audience. True retirement planning doesn't typically involve spur-of-the-moment career announcements. 7. The intellectual stimulation. Excuse. Rowley's claim that he's returning to volcanology for intellectual stimulation rather than as a job conveniently ignores that he could have found intellectual stimulation in the family time he promised. This suggests his retirement motivations were never genuine. 8. The limited politics lie. While claiming his involvement in politics going forward would be limited, Rowley is already providing public commentary and appearing at leadership forums. His definition of limited involvement appears as flexible as his other commitments. 9. The selective service narrative. Rowley now frames his volcanology work as serving populations that were threatened, positioning himself as a selfless protector. This heroic reframing contrasts sharply with his recent claims that family obligations were his priority, revealing how he adjusts his narrative to suit the audience. 10. The regional needs justification. His sudden concern for the Caribbean's need for experienced voices in disaster management wasn't mentioned when he was explaining his political retirement. This newfound regional responsibility appears to be a post hoc justification for abandoning his family time promises. The deeper pattern of deception. Dr. Rowley's latest career pivot is not merely about volcanology. It's about a fundamental inability to maintain consistent narratives over time. His retirement announcement was presented as a deeply personal decision driven by family priorities, yet within months, he's announcing professional commitments that directly contradict those stated motivations. This pattern extends far beyond retirement planning. Throughout his political career, Rowley has demonstrated a remarkable ability to forget his own previous statements when they become inconvenient. From email-gate denials to Petrotrin promises to community allocations, his track record shows someone who treats public commitments as temporary conveniences rather than binding obligations. The volcano metaphor is particularly apt for Dr. Rowley's relationship with truth. Like volcanic activity, his deceptions often lie dormant before erupting unexpectedly, reshaping the landscape of public discourse. His latest eruption, pivoting from family man to volcano researcher, follows this familiar pattern of sudden dramatic shifts that leave observers wondering what happened to previous commitments. The memory problem. My mother-in-law's observation about liars having no memory finds perfect expression in Dr. Rowley's career trajectory. He appears genuinely unable to remember his own previous statements when they conflict with current opportunities. This isn't mere political flexibility. It's a systematic inability to maintain narrative consistency over time. The transition from spending time with family to intellectual stimulation through volcanology happens so seamlessly that one wonders if Rowley even remembers making the original family commitment. This selective amnesia has been his consistent approach to inconvenient promises throughout his career. The public trust deficit. Dr. Rowley's latest pivot damages more than just his personal credibility. It undermines public trust in political leadership generally. When former leaders casually abandon their stated motivations and commitments, it reinforces public cynicism about political promises and leadership integrity. The people of Trinidad and Tobago deserve better than leaders who treat public statements as rough drafts subject to constant revision. They deserve consistency, honesty, and the basic respect that comes from keeping one's word, even in retirement. In conclusion, Dr. Rowley's return to volcanology might serve legitimate scientific purposes, and the Caribbean certainly benefits from experienced disaster management expertise. However, the manner of this announcement, casually abandoning his family-focused retirement narrative without acknowledgement or explanation, reveals the same pattern of casual dishonesty that characterized his political career. As my mother-in-law warned decades ago, a liar has no memory. Dr. Rowley's inability to remember his own retirement commitments, like his previous amnesia about email-gate, Petrotrin, and community allocations, confirms this wisdom. His latest eruption of inconsistency reminds us that some patterns of behavior persist regardless of office or status. The former Prime Minister may have returned to studying volcanoes, but perhaps he should first study the seismic damage that his persistent relationship with untruth continues to inflict on public discourse and democratic institutions. Some eruptions, after all, leave lasting scars on the landscape.